that you guys are devising it for him to leave that seat, and you have a smooth transition from the military regime to the civilian government. And it's not also that possible because when you look at our military, they cannot handle economics. Tuaje kujidanganya. So at least kama tungekuwa na watu wenye wanajielewa hapo juu, because mimi I'm not accusing anything, but look at the top of the leadership of this government. Kama kuna experts, I'll tell you there is no expert, right? There are other things in this country that we are staring at. And I'll give you a small gist about it. Israel walifire jana Yemen. It was at 3:50. They fired at the airport. We are the allies to Israel, right? We have South Sudan there, who are being funded by some Arabian country in terms of their stability. They are at loggerheads with Kenya. Juzi kuna mabunduki zimepotea Somalia. Hapa tu, I think it's the next province to what is bordering Moyale. And we have a porous border. Those 5,400 rifles zilipotea na marisasi. It was coincidence. Ipote. You cannot tell us that the clan militia are coming to rob a whole unit station. Now waende na hizo vitu. Where are these things going to be used? And who is creating instability in the government? Because ukiangalia Kampala, they are also unstable, and that movement is being called for. Ukiangalia Tanzania, they are also unstable, and that movement is being called for. Somalia, they are unstable, that movement is being called for. At the end of the day, unasikia kuna mabunduki zimepotea Somalia, unasikia sijui kuna watu wanaanza kupigana South Sudan. So our East African continent at large iko into chaos. Isn't that coincidence? Kenya tuko hapa tunasema we need a new regime without clear policies or guidelines or the leadership that is going to take over. Mimi uniambie leo Mariam, like Dolphin, I want us to do this thing. And someone who is going to represent us and the person that we trust aenda hapo mbele ni nani? Ni Dr. AJ, right? So mimi nitasimama kama Dolphin and I'll give my resources. Maybe Dr. AJ, ukifika hapo just do the right thing. If you miss to do the right thing, my friend, wewe na risasi mnakutana hapo na hapo. That is how things play out in a well-managed country. If you do not go as per the agreement, then you stand to be executed. Na tunasonga mbele. Tuacheni kujidanganya ati sijui let's look for women, sijui the human rights activists, let's do this. The purpose of the government is to oppress people, nothing else, and to benefit only the elite. Amujajifunza hiyo kitu, but learn it from today. The purpose of the government is not to look for jobs for you. It's not to make your life better, and it's not to bring things at your table. Amka mahali penye uko, think and work for yourself. But there is that equalizer that the government provides, a good environment. Na ukicheza pia, that good environment you will not be given. And that is what you are fighting for now. So, tread carefully also while you are looking for that good environment, because you may end up losing it all. Either you lose your life, you lose that good environment that you want, or the stability of the country at large. The last opinion that I will still say, occupying JKIA is a wrong move. Hakuna kitu mtafaidika. Those are the local flights. Ama mngoje ikifika, I don't have the flight summary ya Tuesday. I'll send it to you, Mariam. All the flights, the arrivals and the departing flights. There are less than 15 flights daytime ya kufika JKIA, watu wanakuja. In fact, Zanzibar, Abeid Karume International Airport, inatupiga kwa flights because the last I was checking it on Wednesday last week. We had almost 75 flights. Na Abeid Karume International Airport is going to 150 flights. Remember Zanzibar, it's a small land. Those are where people go connect their flights nowadays, because ukiwa Zanzibar, you can go to Dubai, you can go to Turkey, you can connect your flight to France, you can connect your flight to Singapore, right? What about JKI? It's very shambolic. Hakuna mtu hata mwenye anakuja hapa siku hizi. So unaenda kusimamisha mtu mwenye anataka kupanda ndege kwenda Kisumu. It doesn't make sense. Protesting, stopping someone from going to Kisumu. Instead angechukua matatu anasema, let me take this 50 minutes going home. It will not make sense. So ile kitu yenye mimi nakwambia, ile kitu yenye mimi ningesema, kama if you have a good software developer and someone who can create that virus, bro, changamka, fanya hiyo kitu kama kesho ama kesho kudo. Those guys in Kenya, we do not have good IT experts. I'll assure you that 1,000 times. So wacha nisikizie kwa umbali.
Mariam, just a second. Just a second. I came to tell Dolphin, when we say occupy JKI, we don't mean we are going to disrupt flights. We are going to make a statement. If it means staying in JKI for 2 weeks, we are going there because it's a safe space. We'll be there for a week until the president dances to our tunes. We are going to stop any movement in JKI. If it means for a week, we'll do that. Maandamano si Tuesday peke yake. If it will go, we are now going ham. So si ati tuna disrupt flight because we want to make a statement to the international community. We want to make a statement to the whole government. Wajue what is happening currently. It's not a joke. So it's not that ni flights tu hizi za nini peke yake. Ni the whole, hata kama ni the whole week, we will be there the whole week.
Excuse me for butting in. Something else nataka kuambia our guy Dolphin. Yes, a lot of people are aware that we have other bigger players in the picture. Kuna other players in the picture who cause chaos just the way Congo happened. Kuna these guys in the picture. But hatuwezi sema tutasimama because these guys wako pia in the picture. We have to fix our own government. Hii vitu ndogo ndogo inafanyika in our own country ndio tuweze kufight these other people who cause destabilization, because yes, they're there, they fund the government, some part of the opposition, other groups, such that chaos happens. The way Congo happened, it's the way they form instabilities around regions, so they outsource resources from your region wapeleke to their place. We know they're there. We know tunajua watu wako hapa, but for us to even kufikiria that we have to maybe start acting against them, we have to solve this governance issue kwanza. So when we got back to JKIA, atuendi huko just ati tunaenda kukaa huko for a single day then tunarudi home. No, tunaenda huko and we'll stay there till our impact yenye tunataka happen ndio happen. You have to make this man listen to us and do our bidding. Hiyo ndio kenye tunataka. Yeah, you're just a rebuttal to Dolphin.
Mariam, just give me a little bit. I thank Dolphin for having such kind of a good idea. Dolphin, one of the courses I've done extensively software engineering. I understand programming very well. But Dolphin, it will take time. You know, like what happened in 2020, it was alleged that what we were suffering from was actually a created virus. Dolphin, it takes time. Someone must have just sat there for a long time for you to come up with that programming language that can end up with a virus. It will take time. And then Dolphin, something else to tell you. I think it is a good idea to have a virus. But Dolphin, if what happens if all of us are killed, our parents are killed, now we were creating, because you see the one that was being created in China, the alleged one, spread ilienda throughout the world, and majority of the people found themselves dead. So also we have
wait, I don't think he was talking about that kind of a virus. He was talking about a virus to attack the system, right, Dolphin?
Oh, I get it. I get it. Something else is that Dolphin, the people who are sabotaging our growth are in our country. They are not international. Sio watu wa kutoka nje. Those people who are oppressing us are actually people we are living with in our villages, in our towns, and they are part of our government, and that is what we are that is what we are fighting right now. We are not fighting people from outside the country, because we know our children, our sisters, our brothers are also traveling from outside the country, and there are very few, as you have said. But we are fighting a system within here. So that system, majority of them stays in Kitengela, in Mombasa Road, in Westlands, in Thika, in Limuru. That is why we are blocking, because then when we block, it is kind of a virus itself. We are blocking them so that they cannot be able to do what they want to do. Their plans are sabotaged, and that means even their economic pursue is also sabotaged. So we have to start from here, because there is no one who will come from Somalia or Ethiopia or Uganda or Canada or Australia to come and sort us our problems. We live with them here, and they are the one we are sabotaging. Thank you, Mariam.
Asante. Dolphin, are you satisfied by those responses?
Dr. AJ, one thing that I'll stand to tell you is this, your eyes will never see something that your mind has never
Mariam, toa hii
conceived.
ng'ombe bwana, inaharibu masaa.
That's a fact. And something else different is that if you want to save your country as Kenya, then you have to make only one stand. All foreigners should go back to their country. And I mean all foreigners should go back to their country. Usiwache hawa waendi, usiwache hawa wazungu, usiwache hawa Wafaransa, usiwache hawa wase wengine. Then you have to start square zero. The reason why I'm telling you that is because look at the major factories in this country operated by them. They are the one who backs the government. They are the one who runs the affairs of the day of the government.
Finance those political parties by having a political party card. And why am I saying that we should even talk to our mothers? Because our mothers are, getting free t-shirts, wearing lessons, free lessons, and people are not asking, where is this money that this politician is getting to finance a campaign worth 5 billion? These girls first are going to they're going to pay back their masters, the people who finance them. So even if people shout Ruto must go, even if we have a new president, the person who is going to finance that president, his campaign, to become a president, is the guy that president is going to first pay back. And that is what is currently happening right now. If you look at the current CSs, some of them might be there because they financed Ruto's campaign. You might be seeing these guys to go home, but then if someone maybe had the 1 billion or 2 billion and used his money to campaign to make Ruto win, how are you going to tell this guy to step down? People are not understanding that simple point, that the world right now, companies, and most of these politicians you are seeing are not even there for your own good. The politics right now, people are there to protect their own personal interests and their companies and their field. So even if this politician is not, is someone that you're just seeing on the ground, those politicians are there, maybe fronted by companies to protect their own company interests. So whatever Dolphin is saying is that people don't understand that if it is those companies that you're seeing here with those foreigners, maybe, those foreigners are going to finance someone that is going to, even if that person is going to be my name or some other Miriam over there, someone who has the face of a black person, but that black person actually that looks like you is a Kikuyu, I don't know, whoever that person just looks like an ordinary Kenyan like you, that person is working for them and for their interests. And they talk to him first before they come talk to you. They're the ones who employ these professionals you see when they're in State House to write for you those statements that is going to come and tell you. These guys you're seeing there is just a figurehead. And that's what people don't understand. If you're going to remove him, you've got to understand, ask yourself, what are we going to do? Because the system is, when people say the system is rotten, they're practically saying that the system that has put those politicians there that we see there talking to us, that is the rotten system. Why? Because some of these guys have been financed by private companies. So those private companies have put those politicians to protect their private interests. Banks have financed, you see, some of these banks, you don't see them getting involved in campaign fund. They have financed these guys. Why are you going, like today, if you want to start a business, you're going to find the interest rate is 22%. Are you going to hear the government complaining? No. Today, when you're still complaining, I have no money, I cannot pay rent, banks are making supernormal profits. And they're making those profits on your back. That's why you cannot even start a business right now. If you start a business, you go borrow 1 million shillings. They require you to pay 180,000, 18 to 20 to 220,000, just 1 million shillings to start a business from a bank. And you see, sometimes some of these things we've been told, we are being told, oh, you see, you can change this politician, let's put another one. But you're not asking yourself, if you just want to start because not all of us can even fit in government. Even if you start complaining, oh, government, these guys are just recycling their brothers and sisters. I'm sure we cannot fit in these county governments, and you cannot fit in these main national governments. All of us, we can't fit. So what is happening is that some of these things we are not being told that the system itself is the one that is corrupt, and the system is it's a parallel system. There's these guys who work for government, the civil servants, and then there are the politicians. But the system that puts the politicians in power is the corrupt system, is the one that is protecting their interests. So even if you guys say, oh, we are going to fight and remove that person there over there on top, well, understand some banks have financed him, some cooperatives have financed him. Even this maybe Kotu guy you're hearing very quiet, maybe he has financed these campaigns, and some of these companies even finance both candidates. They don't care. They don't tell you on the ground. If there's a company, they'll finance 5 million here and 5 million there. Either way, they'll tell you, I financed your campaign, you do whatever my company wants. So when you're fighting for your rights, remember that the system itself is a corrupt system. That is something people don't understand. It's good right now, it's good that people are discussing these things. It's good, and it's good that we are opening our minds. But to fight this corrupt system, we have to be able to identify where the corruption is. For example, let me give you a very simple example. Look at banking. About banking, because all of us have problems with money. Right now, the way that government makes you poor is excess money. You see, when you're talking about taxes, our taxes, these guys can print more money, use that money, and your money loses value. If you import things from whatever you want to import, then by the time you sell them, the government has printed so much money, your money is valueless. If you keep money savings in your bank, your money becomes valueless. And how do they even punish you further? They again tell the people who have taken loans to start businesses to pay high interest rates to again mop that money away from the population. Can you imagine that pain? That's why most businesses here cannot run. You cannot run in an environment where it's unstable, leave alone this instability you're talking about, or fighting, I don't know what, smoke and mandamano. An unstable system whereby you cannot take a loan today and be guaranteed by the end of the year what is going to be the interest rate. In fact, if you look at Kibaki's time, this guy had really tried to minimize the cost of borrowing, the cost of taking a loan. So you could take a loan and maybe pay back with 10%. Maybe a guarantee you can imagine, let me start a business and maybe I can pay. But right now, if you go take a loan and be told to pay 22%, how are you going to pay back that loan? Most of us, we cannot fit in government, let's be honest. We want a good working environment. But the rich people in this country have created a system by you are not able to move up. We call it social mobility. You cannot move up from where you are right now to the next step in your life. Why? Because they are gatekeepers of the economy. So even if we go fight these things, understand, let me give you an example right now. Another example is like, let's say you want to start, like you hear like something called macadamia farming. Government creates licenses. It's a very nice word, licenses. But licenses is just the word gatekeeping. So you might have a very big farm of macadamia nuts, then you're told by the government, no, you have to have a license to export those macadamias to China. Now that license by itself, they'll award to the person they want to award. So that person will buy your macadamia nuts or your tea and your coffee at the price they want because you cannot export. So look at the way farmers have been fighting for rights, maybe coffee farmers, and to be able to sell their items directly. Those are the things we should work for to change. Another scheme that I normally tell people is a big lie. This scheme we call, malipo ya uzee, at retirement benefits. That's a big lie, Kenyans, all of us, let me tell you the truth. If you are being deducted that money from your salary, that's a big lie. Because you're going to be deducted today 5,000 shillings. By the time you're retiring 20, 30 years later, that 5,000 shillings is not the worth that money is worth today. It's going to be peanuts. But then these people took your money when your money was valuable and then gave it back to you 30 years later when that money was not valuable. So why are we suffering? Look at our own parents right now. Our own parents are suffering because some of them are getting peanuts in that retirement money. But then when they were working and they were deducted, they were thinking this money is going to be valuable for them when they grow old. Those are just con schemes. Those insurance schemes, I don't know, in fact, you'd rather be given your money right now and then be educated how you're going to invest and get your benefits later. Invest your money. Not someone takes your money, then they invest for you, and then that 5,000 shillings, they give you back after 30 years, when that 5,000 shillings is worth 200 shillings. Those are the schemes that the society, we've been cheated, and these guys come and tell you, oh, they're doing civil education, malipo ya uzee, keep your money here, social, I don't know, money for your malipo ya uzee, and you get old. When you get old, that 5,000 shillings is going to be peanuts. Kenyans, let me tell you the truth. It is time we interrogate the whole system. The whole system, banking system, retirement benefit system, this export system, industry system of creating the industries and the companies. We have to interrogate each and every part of the system. Even if you want to start a company right now for telecommunications, you're going to be told now by CCK that a license for 3G or 4G is 5 billion. A license, just a piece of paper, they put a stamp, a billion. And if you look, let me give you an example. By the time now we had so many radio stations and TV stations, you can imagine it has taken us so many years. And if you look at these radio stations and TV stations, you still have to get a license worth 5 million, 10 million. And they have been gatekeeping all these industries in every part in society. If you want to start anything in Kenya, you're going to be told, go get a license. You ask how much is this license? $1 million, 10 million. If you want to start a bank today, it was 10 million years ago, it became 100 million. A bank right now, you'll be told, I don't know, 5 billion. To even start a bank, so if you guys want to even start your own bank, you can help yourselves among yourselves. The government is not going to give you that license. So guys, even if we are talking about maybe Ruto must go, there's so many things I hope we sit down, we interrogate in our society, and there's so many things I cannot even talk about, but I told you like the money printing steals money from our pockets, because you earn 1,000 shillings, the CBK prints another money, and then that money loses value in your pocket. So you're getting a salary, but then your money is continuously losing value. You cannot keep up with inflation. Inflation just means, the word inflation is a very nasty word. It just means CBK is just printing money. Money like this, and then they're just using it. Maybe giving it to companies and giving it to people. We don't know where that money goes. So guys, we have to interrogate the whole system. And if you're wondering how foreigners are affecting us, they affect us like this. Let me explain to you how they affect us.
Just do me a favor, kindly. You're giving us very, very, very great points, and I'm sure you're bringing different angles to things that were not even issues that we're talking about. So what I want you to do, Wangai, if you don't mind.
So my point, let me finish my point.
Are you sure, or you want, because I'm seeing you're going into a very different point.
I'm finishing. So my point was, we have to interrogate, but then I've told you that this figurehead we see that is ruling over us, most of those guys you're seeing there, the CSs and PSs, whatever policies you see them telling us they're going to do for us, have been fronted by private companies protecting their private interests. Not for us, the normal mwananchi. That was something you have to remember every time. If it is the education system, some people have, even this bill you could see, it is not made by our own people you're seeing there in government. Someone else has done it. So we have to interrogate that system. I'm not going to add more. I'm going to give the space to other people.
Wangai Asante, honestly, I don't mind you staying on because you have very great and valid points. Those are issues that we need to actually interrogate, and those are part of the systematic changes that we are agitating for without pointing them out or without putting them down clearly. So Wangai, thank you. I wasn't stopping you from submitting. I wanted other people to chime in so that you're able to respond if anyone has a point to counter. But 6 sounds as just kidogo too, because Ayo has not spoken. Let's just have.
Let me go then he speaks, because my information is a bit burning. Nataka ku drop hapo kwa listeners. So what I wanted to tell the people here is that today at 5 p.m. we will have the mother of all spaces. That is the space that will give us the way forward as we go on to Tuesday. So we'll have the mother of all spaces. It will be hosted by Kioti Sonko. So make sure you attend if you want to better this country. Make sure you turn up so that we can keep this conversation going. Thank you. That is what I wanted to tell you.
Yeah, 6,000. There was a question yesterday around why all the hosts are coming together to one space. Is that going to happen today at least?
So today we have more than 30 space hosts who have joined hands, and they are bringing this together and they are bringing it to us. Thank you.
Okay, good stuff. Thanks a lot. So, yeah, I'm sure people here know who Keoti Sonko is. If possible, 6, just ask him to do, to set an early reminder so that we can be able to retweet his space.
Yeah, I'll share the post. I'll share the post of the space on the dashboard.
Asante sana. Thanks a lot for that. Hi, Ayo. Ayo, are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I've just been listening to the space. The main reason why I requested for the mic is I wanted to actually counter a speaker who talked about, chasing away all the foreigners and all that, and that point really, hit home. But I wanted to ask him a question. I don't know if he's still there. On matters chasing away foreigners, do we also understand that we, as Kenyans, we are foreigners in other countries? Do we also understand that as foreigners, as Kenyans, some of us have sought out for asylum in other countries? Does that make us foreigners, or are we not foreigners in that matter? And at the end of the day, do we also understand that most Kenyans are, have gone to look for work in foreign countries, and some Kenyans are studying. They've gone for higher education in other countries, and as Kenyans, we need to debunk this idea of at the end of the day in the job. Look at the job market right now. If we go for an interview today, and you have a foreign master's degree and I have a local master's degree, do you know that the foreign master's degree will be considered? And who's considering those people? They are normal Kenyans like you. So before we even cast that stone, let's look at ourselves and ask us those simple questions. Right now, if you are sick and you have money, where are you going? You'll hear that, ameenda kupata matibabu UK, ameenda kupata matibabu US. Yeah? So there are pertinent questions we need to ask ourselves and just think straight instead of engaging our feelings in the discussion. I understand that, yes, we've seen what the West has done to our country and all that, but at the end of the day, we've really played a great role in allowing them to do that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of questions that we also need to self-reflect upon before we draw to some conclusions. I think that is what I really wanted us to. I was really burning, and it's more of looking at issues with a keen eye. Yes, we have a lot of issues on the table, but can we focus on the major issue first? And what's the major issue? Is to send the government home. The rest are others. We'll always deal with them as time goes by. But what's the major bone to chew on the table? Yeah, so that was my main point, really, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ayo. And it's Dolphin who came up with this whole concept of kicking out foreigners. And my response to him was, I think Dolphin does not understand Kenyan issues. The people who are financing the campaigns in Kenya are the entrepreneurs, the beneficiaries of the system, Dolphin. So what you're talking about foreigners, I don't actually agree with you at all. It means that you're out of touch with yeah.
Come Armando.
Dolphin, respond to Ayo directly, please.
Ayo, what I meant is this. Let me be specific. Most of the hotels in Nairobi now are being run by foreigners. Have that in mind. Most of the companies, these big companies, are being run by foreigners. Put that in mind. Mind you, these people are not paying taxes because they are under the umbrella of international companies. Get facts from someone who works at the Revenue Authority. International companies do not remit taxes. It's until they file taxes in their country of origin, then they'll send back. I don't know if it's 5% or it's 7% of that much. What I meant is that if you want to save a country, look at a company like the Best Titanium that was operating in Kwale. How much did the government benefit out of that? What was the benefit of the society towards that? Right? So there are a lot of companies, as at the moment, end up Machakos, there are a lot of companies mining, right? The locals are being mistreated. They do not get the CSR. They do not get absolutely whatsoever any benefit. If I tell you that, okay, if I tell you that those guys are below even 100 million for the CSR, and it's mandated by those companies who are coming to work near the locals. Wapeane shule, maji, nini, sponsorship, all those kind of stuff. That is what I meant. These investors are coming inside our country. They are investing. They pay the lower wages to our brothers and sisters. Those are the people that should be served, and the government will rethink. Bro, when I'm telling you that, I thought partly having a knowledge of what's happening in the shipping industry and the airline industry, because I've been an associate of WCO, World Customs Organization. I know what is happening. Kenya, I'll tell you today, confirm with someone who works at the Revenue Authority.
Dolphin. No. Dolphin, I need to redirect you for just a moment. Can you kindly tell us what the problem is in Kenya today? Because according to me, revenue has not been an issue for quite a while. So you're still a bit misdirected when it comes to what the issues are in Kenya. So can you tell me, according to you, what do you think people are agitating for? What kind of change do we need as Kenya for Kenya to progress? And again, I'm going to repeat, revenue is not an issue. So kindly share with us first what you think the issue in Kenya is before we even proceed.
Mariam.
Kenya.
Wangai, just give it a moment. Give me just a moment, Wangai. Yes, Dolphin.
Mariam. Kenya, as currently, is a service industry, and it needs strict labor laws, right? Because each and everyone who is working at the EPZ, they below the minimum wage, the standard, the labor laws of the international labor laws. That's the minimum wage. They are being paid peanuts. The second thing, Kenya do not produce anything, right? So all these companies, in unasikia sijui iko Mlolongo, ziko Mombasa, ziko wapi, those are the EPZ, and they do not remit anything to the government. And these are the companies that pay people little. The little that you receive, the government is overtaxing you through the shelves, right? So the government has to rethink of the labor laws in this country, so that when people have enough money to purchase things through the supermarket, there's money circulation, and no one will be complaining. Imagine you bring raw materials, you come and make something in Kenya, that things exists through the port of Mombasa. The only thing that the government will benefit from that, maybe it's $100 or $200. That's the shipment process. That's the shipment processing fee. Now, Apple Menda EPZ, you produce the jeans that is what in Germany or in France 9,000 shillings, and you are being paid 350 shillings a day. What kind of madness is that? Then you tell us that the foreigners are doing us a favor. What kind of favor is that?
Listen,
so why don't they produce?
Listen, Dolphin. Just a moment. Dolphin, just a moment.
I'm getting that.
From our main. Dolphin, you're really going away from the main topic. Just a moment, Dolphin. Let me bring you back on track. Let me just bring you back on track. Kidogo tu acha nikubring back on track. Let me bring you back home. Umeongelea story ya remittances. Umeongelea story ya strict labor laws. Umeongelea story ya purchasing power. Hizi vitu zote unaongelelea, you're not talking about the root of all this problem. The root of all this problem is poor governorship. The root of all this problem dates back to your government. If you fix the government, if you fix the leaders up there who are allowing these punitive laws to pass, then you will be fixing all this shit that is happening. Because let me tell you, ngoja kidogo, I understand your plights. I understand your plights completely. But here's the thing. Unajua nani anallow hizo ujinga zinafanyika? It's your government. Do you know the people who are protecting all these sijui wazungus doing nonsense in Mlolongo? Mlolongo and all that. If the government puts strict laws on these people, if the government puts labor laws that work on its people and makes sure that its people are making money, if the government the government ikiamua inaenda kuwapatia nguvu kama wananchi, then these wazungus, these punitive wazungus, they will not take advantage of you. So these people are taking advantage of you because the law allows them to take advantage of you. You understand? I want you to understand that very, very well. If the government allows the dollar to gain, or rather the Kenyan shilling to gain, it's because it wants to give the people power. But do you know what the government is doing to you? The government is making sure that imekusuppress na imepatia hawa wazungu wenye wanakuja kutengeneza makampuni Kenya because wanapata bribes and all that kind of stuff. And then what's the result? Those wazungu, they're suppressing you as their employee. They're making. Tell me, why is that mzungu not paying taxes? Wewe saizi ukienda maju, you cannot evade taxes. In fact, you can be deported for evading taxes. Take an example, the US, the UK, Ireland, Russia, you cannot evade taxes. But unajua kwa nini wana evade taxes hapa Kenya? Because your government is puny. Your government is fucked up. And that's why mnalipa more taxes, salary yako, pays, whatever, juu gava imekubali ufinywe. Unaget? So you're not focusing on the point. You're not focusing on the major problem. Usually micro issues. Focus on the major problem hapa juu kwa Apex. The major problem hapa kwa Apex ni gava inapatia wase nguvu ya kufanya hizo ujinga. If government says no and says all these companies have to remit taxes, they have to remit all these taxes at the end of whatever financial year, then now wana keep what you have to be kept to book. That's how KRA ina make sure hii kampuni kwa Mombasa Road or wherever it is, Mombasa, wherever it is, remit taxes. Now how is it paying the employees? Are they being paid according labor laws? Are they being paid according to their ranks? Mimi for example tuseme mimi ni a director, for example. How much is a director supposed to be paid? How much is this person supposed to be paid? Are they being paid according to their levels of education and all that? But do you know what? Ole wako, the government is not doing that because what? They want to benefit from this money being made here. And so if you're not gonna pay taxes ni sawa, bora sisi tumepata nini kati yetu. Look at Keroche Breweries. Why is Keroche Breweries going down? Ask yourself. So I'll tell you for a fact, all these things have a root, and you need to focus on the major root. Iko huko juu, government. Your government is not keeping these companies to task to make sure that they pay taxes, to make sure that they pay you well, to make sure that there is strict laws that are protecting these employees. Unaget? So easy story mingi unaenda hapa, hizo ni you having the plight with these people that are employing you, but you are avoiding the government to go juu. That is the major problem, my brother.
Thanks a lot, Ayo, for refocusing Dolphin, and I'm hoping he's understood that, so that we don't have to even go back and forth anymore. Wangai, before we come back to you, let's go to the new speakers. Alafu nitakuja kwako tena, because I know your contribution is going to be good. So we have, wow, I don't know the order, but please, if possible, put your hand up so that I know that you're ready to speak. So we have Josephine, and then Professor. I'm going for the guys with the hands up first. Josephine, and then Professor.
Kuna mtu ako na PayPal hapa sisi. Tena naambia pande juu.
Hi Josephine, can you hear me?
Naambia pande juu. Nilikuwa naambiwa rudi hapo.
Yes, can you hear me? Thank you so much.
Tena anapiga simu.
I want to say
kama tu kazi yako yenyewe kidogo ya
fellow Kenyans. Thank you Maria for the host and your host. We appreciate the good job you are doing for us as citizens of Kenya, and we are grateful. My first point is that I think I have insisted in many different forums that we have to stick to our focus at what we want. We should not start going chasing any dog which barks at us at the side of the road because we just ask there's a dog there barking. Can we keep our focus on what we want and what we are determined about? Because on Tuesday, as we go out there, we are not going out to chase away our neighbors. At any point, nobody who knows at what point do we need other countries. And as a nation, we cannot stay on our own because we are not an island. We have neighbors, they have been living amongst us, and we've coerced very well with all other nations, and we've been received in international countries. And I will be saying, my first experience when I left the country and I went outside the country, I experienced a lot of respect being a Kenyan, and that's something I cannot underlook. And then when we are there saying that we kick away and we are warning people to leave our country, if we don't create a conducive environment, if our government, who is our problem, if our institutions and those who lay down the structures, the systems which are supposed to protect our people, the systems are the ones not protecting our people, and the people who are managing them are the ones who are not protecting our people, then what shit do we have with a person who has just come and decided to invest in our country, and he was given all the regulations as per the country requirements, and he met all the qualifications for him or her to invest in our country. He is employing our people. Let's tell ourselves the truth. We have very many people in our country who have only gone up to class 8. And these companies have decided to take these people who have done that tertiary courses, and they are working with them. These people are feeding their families from those very companies. Despite that, the government, actually, I would say even the companies, they are more than willing to pay their employees very well. But the problem is our system and our government, because there is somebody there who wants to be fed with the monies and the salaries, which the little salaries these people are being paid. Let it be deducted and then get bribed. I have been a very key spokesperson and even in the leadership of trying to protect the people in the EBZ in Mombasa. And I remember I went visiting those companies at a particular point, and we wanted to know what is really happening exactly. And it was clear, we even went to court because we wanted to know where does it cut across. Why is it that our people are complaining? But the directors were very honest. The owners were very honest. They told us, it's not us, it's your leaders, it's your MPs. And that's the time I decided to confront the MPs head-on collision with no fear of contradiction. And I asked him, why would you want this to continue happening? And obviously, as we know our people, with the impunity the MPs have, they're like, you are asking us like who? But the truth is, the problem is not even those companies. They even also feel for our people when they are working for them and they are underpaying them because they have to bribe somebody else somewhere. Who needs that? And this is the system which has allowed that. Because somebody will be told, then I'll make sure that it's unbearable for you to do your business here despite that you have already invested. And for that reason, what happens? It's either I submit or I leave the country. And I can tell you, between the year 2012 and 2015, we had several exits closing down and moving to Ethiopia. Due to those who could not comply with what our grassroots MPs wanted. Now, how does the investor become a problem? Can we concentrate on our key problem and our major problem, and we tackle it head-on collision? Once we put our structures right, everything will flow. We don't need to go and start telling people you have to go. We don't need to invest in their businesses, telling them you are foreign companies, because they are in this country, because we allowed them, we gave them the documentary, whatever was required, and they adhere to all rules and regulations for a private investor from international. What's their offense? Why will we be punishing them? Why do we want to punish them? For what? And that's why, as well, I was saying the other day, it's very wrong to see people, we are all Kenyans, and we see somebody shops are closed and people are going to block their doors so that they can lose their properties. Then we are not in Mandamano anymore. We are goons. But if we stick to our line and focus on what we want, when you see someone going to break across the shop, you just tell them, no. That's not the reason why we are here. We are here for a purpose and for a mission. And our mission is to celebrate our country and redeem our country and make sure that we get good governance and all the issues that we have. We have so many issues that we are bringing across. We need a nation which is free of corruption. We need a nation whereby we don't need to be given leaders who are being recycled day in, day out. Because it doesn't mean that because they are recycling those leaders, that's why the root of corruption has been there. Because I know I am the governor of this place. If I have created this guy, when he gets to power as president, he is going to give me this position. That's why I am now advocating. Actually, we amend our constitution, the election and the Employment Act, whereby it has to be very clear and very categorical. If you have held a senior office for more than 10 years, there's no much change you can do it. If you are a professional, you are a doctor, go back to the hospital and work as a doctor. Let that position, managerial position, be taken to somebody else. Because with that, we will be doing away with the impunity. If you have led as a governor 2 terms, you don't need to be appointed in any other